God of War Ragnarok's game director, Eric Williams, expresses interest in making a Castlevania game during a spoiler cast while on Kinda Funny's P.S. I Love You. Was he being serious or just memeing? And how would Eric's vision of Castlevania look if it does happen? We're putting our best prophetic hats on to take a gander at what could be in today's video. First, let's point out the last main entry in the single-player Castlevania games was from 2014's Lords of Shadow 2, and it's worth mentioning it was developed by an external studio not owned by Konami, and given the recent news about a gang of Silent Hill games all being made by external studios, it's not out of the realm of possibility, and probably more likely than not that a new Castlevania would be published by Konami but not developed by them. The real issue is whether or not Konami would want a console-exclusive Castlevania or not. Given their recent cadence of releasing games multi-platform, I really doubt it, but I also doubt any other game studio would be as well suited to make a new 3D story-driven Castlevania as Sony Santa Monica is. For one thing, on the story front, Castlevania could use a more mythologically rich lore with relatable characters that have satisfying growth arcs tied to them, which the Lords of the Shadow series tried this, and it's funny how similar the series mirrors God of War's themes, like with the loss of loved ones as an original motivating factor, fighting the demons of the past, and even learning how to be a better father figure. Even the combat is very much the God of War style combat from the earlier 1 to 3 series of games, with switching between primary weapons and having secondary weapons that provide utility to get around puzzles and such. But from a game sales and review scores perspective, the general consensus is God of War did a much better job. So I would love to see a God of War style reboot for Castlevania. I think Sony Santa Monica has a template laid out by God of War 2018 that they could use with some distinctions or iterations that could be used to create an amazing Castlevania game. It's worth noting though, Eric Williams is the director on God of War Ragnarok, but was not for the original reboot in 2018. That was Cory Barlog that was the main creative force. But as mentioned before, they kind of have an outline for a masterful Castlevania game from God of War already, so Eric would not have to change the formula up too much to make a good Castlevania game from that. Realistically though, I think our best chance of getting a Sony Santa Monica Castlevania is if Sony somehow agreed to make it multi-platform, which has happened already with MLB The Show, so it would not be unprecedented, just highly unlikely, as it was the MLB Association itself that demanded the game be multi-platform and not so much Sony's choice. So could it happen? Maybe. Will it? Probably not. But let me know what you think about a Sony Santa Monica Castlevania game, or if I missed any interesting points about the matter. Do me a favor, smash the like button, subscribe if you're new and want to support the channel. But as always, thanks for watching Game Xfinity.